I have a team and websites, and I can update my websites every day. Most people are going to want some combination of access to information and human relatability. So when I go live, you can leave comments, send gifts, and make highlights. And I'll update my website, and my team will do QA as they do. Cheers. You want a combination between something that feels like modern technology, but also something that doesn't feel like modern technology. Let me see if I can reorder that Let me see if I can reorder that for what people are probably going to look for. Modern technology is soulless garbage and you want something that feels more human. You can join a TikTok live, send gifts and leave comments. I need to update my website throughout the day. Anyway, cheers. My personal site is designed for learning science. Like the science of learning, my personal site is designed to make it easier to apply the principles of the science of learning. If you visit my site, you might notice that it isn't intuitive, which is because it's designed to facilitate learning. Other websites that aren't meant to facilitate learning might be more intuitive. Cheers. It does help to know psychology. Not all of it. Enough of it. It helps to be aware of the kinds of dimensions that you can tune to make your content more useful, more meaningful. For a long time, I thought that psychology was just what psychology majors ended up doing. And there were some contradictory misconceptions that I had when I believed this. My major in college was learning and education studies with a concentration in applied learning science. And I needed to take educational psychology courses for that degree path. I dropped out, so I'm not going to say that you can or can't accomplish whatever with an educational psychology degree, but it is useful to have some of that basis. In my career, I need to describe why I dropped out, and I can do that by describing that I want to apply the principles of learning science. Also, I want to continuously learn. I want to learn into my adulthood. That's the point of my content. Cheers. The challenge of the modern era is that people need to navigate AI, and sometimes they reject when they become aware that they are. And also, sometimes people will suspect that you're using AI or that you are AI, which is, it's not based on anything you do. You can't really prove that you're a human. You can kind of point to the wonder about who would create the content. AI has been trained on the things humans do. When we make content that describes that we are human, AI can learn from that and integrate the details. So that's where we are. You can also form relationships, you can have conversations with people. You can go live on TikTok and describe consistency along the human timeline. Fundamentally, you will have biological processes, and those determine the pace that you can produce language, for example. The point of this video is to market my website. The link is in my bio. Cheers! A lot of people need income, so a lot of people apply to jobs, regardless of whether they have the qualifications or ability to work those jobs. There are so many people who apply to jobs that the process to make the hiring process easier generally involves hiring someone who doesn't require that much income or who doesn't expect to be paid much for wading through the number of resumes or applications. This means that if you have a job that requires a degree, you might run into a process that literally doesn't have the attention span to understand why you're qualified. That's where we are. Cheers. The reason I make videos like this is so people can stitch them together. I can upload them to YouTube, summarize the video, and use the transcript to prompt AI to update my websites. You can listen to my videos as just something to have on in the background if you want to. And depending on what you're looking for, the algorithm might recommend different videos at different times. Something that I appreciate about the TikTok algorithm is hundreds of people can watch a video before you and describe who cares. Not everyone is going to care about the videos that I make for the entire duration of the video, and if you're just looking for something entertaining, maybe my content isn't for you. But if you're interested in learning about the subjects that I talk about, maybe the algorithm can present one of the videos that you might care about. This is the concept of the algorithm in a vague, ill defined sense. Now we have the concept of the algorithm per platform and AI as a concept, and we can reflect sociologically on which constructs those might represent. That's beyond the scope of this video. Cheers! If you have a website and 1,000 followers on TikTok, you can put a link in your bio and point to the link in your bio, and that can be a reason people visit your profile. The people who care enough to actually visit your profile to see the link in your bio might care enough to follow you or watch more of your videos. Even if they don't pay for a service, the algorithm will recognize the kinds of things they tend to be interested in, and depending on how you make your videos, you can find your audience. Even if you don't have content on your site, you can put a link to your site in the bio and point to it. Obviously, if people visit the link in your bio and it doesn't convey what you're trying to convey, they won't necessarily stay. There are different ways that you can make the landing page, which is the page that people land on, not necessarily the home page. There are ways that you can make the landing page more engaging so people want to stay longer. I've been a designer and software engineer for 15 years, so that's a reason to hire me. My personal site is designed to apply the principles of learning science. For context, my major in college was learning and education studies with a concentration in applied learning science. So that's the reason my site is designed the way it is. Today, the thumbnail of my first pinned post is a screenshot of an older version of my website. So if you want to, you can use HTML and CSS to design something attractive and have that useful as a thumbnail for your videos. That's a bonus tip. Cheers! Imagine a software engineer who spent a dozen years developing a language to synchronize an idea, to share a concept. The concept is the reason I make art. What would the best painting look like? Cheers! You do need good lighting for some of your videos, and if you go live, the lighting matters as much as your audience. Having variety in scenes does help, and there are different contexts that can make it more likely for people to recognize a sense of changed scenery. Cheers! Sometimes people are going to skip your videos, not because they want to skip the video, just because they're used to a different amount of stimuli. You can make shorter videos and compartmentalize the ways people can recognize when you are in one video. It can be a frustrating part of being a creator in the modern context. Your audience is so used to receiving free content. If you have something important to say, it might be frustrating to how your audience has been conditioned. I recently renewed my domain, so my site is back online. My website is accessible through the link in my TikTok bio. Cheers! If all my videos were about the exact same thing, more people would watch fewer of them. You can follow hundreds or thousands of people on different platforms, and there needs to be a reason for you to watch a video. Pardon, I can do some things to make each video more unique, and where we are with content is just kind of frustrating for content creation. Today, I'm doing more specific production, and I'm also accepting clients. You need to be able to you need to understand what I do. You need to understand what I do to become a client of mine. I can do marketing, and this video might not be the best example. I can make a video and reuse the audio on TikTok. So I make videos, and it helps when I'm more animated and can describe caring about whatever I'm talking about. The point of this video is to say happy birthday to the people whose birthdays I haven't acknowledged specifically. Happy birthday, buds. I'm glad you exist, and I'm thankful to have known you. I miss you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. Cheers. A happy birthday video pardon. A happy birthday video telling a story with lore.land. That's my goal today. I have a team of artists and developers, and we can work on something towards that goal today. Cheers! I've already written the code that I'm going to use to market your services, and I need to do the marketing to get you to believe that I can do marketing. Cheers! You and I don't need another website to share the understanding that we can share through this video. I've also made around 10,000 videos for TikTok. You need marketing, and I can do marketing. I've also been a software engineer, and if we require software engineers to also be good at marketing, we won't really be able to hire anyone. Because the software engineers that can do marketing can also start their own companies and market them. Cheers. If you visit my profile on TikTok, usually the reason why you would choose any different video is because it stands out with respect to the rest of them. You can sort my videos by popular and see a variety of videos, and if you see the videos that I posted today, a lot of them look the same. Sometimes my older videos show up on people's For You page, which is how they find my account, and I'm not sure which order they're going to see my videos, which is a strange experience. It's taken a lot of time to adjust to as a content creator because I want to be able to communicate clearly to an audience, and also I can't predict when they're going to see anything. Today I'm focusing on production. I work with artists and engineers, and we need to describe what we're good at so people hire us. And also, it's possible to make something entertaining. It is possible to make entertaining things, and it costs money too. Is this an advertisement or is it a description of the life of creators? Etc. What do they call the book in Gravity Falls? Is it a grimoire? The three books that the plot is about, the story that the you know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about? The point of this video is to describe that you can tell stories with websites, and also ebooks are just HTML and CSS zipped up. So you can turn an ebook into a website, and you can make a website more interactive and tell a story with it, and there is more that you can do beyond just presenting a story. If you want to hire me as a narrator, make the process less annoying. There are other narrators that I would recommend. I would point to them as narrators for a story, and you can also hire me. The reason you would hire the narrators that I would recommend is because I have limited time and it's not the thing that I want to do with most of my time. The professional narrators that I know do a good job. Well, I like their voices. I improvise my videos because if I scripted them, I wouldn't be able to produce as many. And I don't know, you can tell, maybe, maybe you can tell that I have experience reading things with intonation and enthusiasm. Professionally, I've been a software engineer for 15 years, which is around the time that I got started with design, too. The reason most companies have hired me has been for software engineering. In college, I also studied educational psychology, and design. My plan today is to describe the videos that I made today by stitching them together and posting them on YouTube, then using that transcript to generate a story and narrate that on lore.land. The TikTok account. I haven't updated the website in a while because I want to describe that even though it's possible to update websites consistently, if you do it too often, people are going to expect it, then get tired of advertisements and not contribute to the stability of whatever you're working on. So I'm going to say I do make content available for free on TikTok, and you can have a different experience with a website. If you're an artist and you have a consistent style and you also have bundles, you have some way of bundling your art so it's digestible, people can understand what one unit is, and it is affordable for someone to share that experience. I'm working on a portal fantasy with lore.land and book talk to make the experience of reading a book feel more substantial. We are allowed to complain about the literacy crises. We're allowed to call young people dumb. It doesn't make it easier for young people to learn. Making reading more fun does. Cheers.